Shalom. Happy Sabbath. Shalom Shabbat. For those who don't know me, my name is Mr. Andrew Williams. I'm also known as the Prophet of War. Today, on this Sabbath day, I'd like to share a brief testimony what I went through the last few days of this week, as I had a couple of attempts on my life. I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible, but if not, please bear with me. In other words, be patient. I'm going to start what happened this past Wednesday. This past Wednesday, I have ordered out to have some food delivered to my room. I had a strong psychic intuition that the delivery man was going to try to have me deliver the food to my room instead of meeting me into the lobby of the hotel. I usually have all my deliveries in the lobby and where the front office is in the hotel. I don't allow nobody coming to my room. I don't allow no delivery to take place to my room. And so I had after I made my order on my iPhone, that's when I had the psychic intuition that the delivery man was going to try to attempt to have the food delivered to my room instead of straight to the lobby room. So when he came, at first he didn't want to come to the lobby. He wanted to meet me at my room, but I kept on saying no because he was Mexican. He pretended like he didn't understand English, and then so I got one of the manager behind the desk to tell the delivery man in Mexican or Spanish, whatever language that he speaks, because he's Mexican, to deliver the food into the lobby. At first he didn't want to listen to the manager, and then the manager said he told him that if he couldn't deliver the food to the lobby like it been requested, then just take the food back. So fortunately, he did deliver the food to the lobby where I was. Yes, he was upset about it, but he tried to play it off with a fake smile, and so stuff like that. Based upon the psychic intuition I had, it just warned me that it was a pawn to make sure I stayed, to make sure I lived in that Pacific hotel room. So he wasn't really a threat. He was just a pawn just to gather information to check to see if I was in that room. Do I live in that room? And so that was that attempt was. The second attempt happened today, this Sabbath day. I was laying on my bed meditating, and then suddenly while I was meditating, I fell into a deep trance. Had a strange dream about 4 Dallas police officers was trying to falsely accuse me of having drugs in my room, and so stuff like that. Now me, I don't mess around with drugs. I don't intake drugs. I don't take drugs. Never did. Never will. I don't smoke, drink, or do drugs. Anything like that. I never did and never will. I don't have no involvement with any kind of drug activity or nothing. So when I was in that deep trance of the dream, there was a knock on my door, and there was a young man. He had his head down. He had like a cap covering his face. Had his head down so I couldn't see his face through the peephole. And so I did open the door, and at first, as soon as I cracked the door open, I positioned myself between the door and the Dutch door, just in case he tried to force his way in, and to be ready to defend myself or protect myself. And then he did walk toward me like he was trying to walk into the room. So I just slightly stepped forward and let him know that, giving him through my body language, that he was not getting into my room. And then he just stood there and he looked at me. He raised up his head so I could see his eyes through his visor of his cap. And then he looked at me, and then I just looked at him, ready to defend myself or protect myself. And then he had like a grayish backpack on his back, but it was like, you could tell the backpack was full. It was like full of all kinds of objects, whatever he had in his backpack, and so stuff like that. So that gave me the intuition that either he was planning on forcing himself into my room to plant some drugs into my room, and then later on have the police, Dallas police officer, come into my room with a search warrant to search my room and have me falsely arrested. That's the only thing I could think of, because that did go in line with my with the dream and vision I had a few minutes before he came knocking on the door, and so stuff like that. So when he saw that I was not going to open the door wide, allow him come to the door, he just left. Now before he left, he did whisper, and I barely heard him. Did I know so and so? And I just answered no. I did directly answer no. You know, simple as that. So that's another attempt on my life to have me try to have me falsely arrested or cause me bodily injury to try to take my life and stuff like that, and so on. And so for you people who don't know what's going on, the Masons or the Freemasons, whatever they call themselves, they are behind this to either try to have me captured or try to have me falsely arrested, so they could try to force me to work for the Masons or try to take my life. And so because of the things I could do with my psychic abilities and spiritual gifts, and I'm very sure that my family, my siblings, my brothers and sisters, they are also behind it, because I'm in the process of making a movie how my dad and my siblings, who was also involved with the Masons or Freemasons, have murdered my mother and made it look like an accident, all because I refused to join the Masons. So, so stuff like that. So that's what I went through today. So from this point on, anytime I have some kind of attempt on my life or anything happen, I'm just gonna make additional what it's called, additional print what's going on in my life, and so so stuff like that. So I appreciate y'all stopping by to watch and to listen. And for you all who keep the 7-day Sabbath, Shalom Shabbat, happy Sabbath, Shalom.